everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So it's not a great update today. The summer trends that we're used to seeing are not exactly being followed. So let's look at the numbers. When we look at Georgetown this week, we had 6 sales, which is not good news. We were pretty consistent with having around 12 sales, which was an indicator that the buyers were still active and the market was still moving. This week we only had 6 sales, which is a bad number. When we were really slowing down at the end of last fall, we were seeing 4, 5, 6 sales. So to see that number this week was kind of disheartening in terms of where we were going. Maybe it's a blip, maybe it's like a one-of week, but not a great sales number this week. What's worse, I would say, is the fact that Georgetown had 19 new listings. That is so many new listings for July. We really were starting to see sort of a slowdown, but we hit almost 20 new listings in Georgetown this week. Inventory, of course, climbed. That is a concerning number. And if we don't see inventory start to soften, we're gonna be in trouble, because if the sales die off the way that they have this week and that continues, like, the prices are going to definitely be coming down pretty dramatically the way they did last fall. So looking at Acton had 2 sales and 2 new listings, so like an even week there. There was no sales and no new listings in Glen Williams or Limehouse, and the rural market had 1 sale and 4 new listings, so also not great news for the rural market. So something to note, of the 9 properties we did see sell, 6 of them were over $1 million. So last week I was talking about how the majority of properties that sold were over $1 million, which was very weird, and it happened again this week. We only saw 3 sales in our busy pocket. That is not great news, and inventory is climbing there. So to have the under $1 million buyers kind of slowing down is definitely concerning also. So there's a bunch of concerning things that happened this week if they continue to be a trend. There were 18 properties that sort of terminated, relisted. Of those 18, 8 of them came off the market. So we did see some properties continuing to exit, which is no surprise. 8 of them also came on at a lower price. 1 of them raised their price, interesting strategy right now, and 1 of them relisted at the same price. Overall, not a great week in numbers for the sellers on the market. Buyers are slowing down, like listings just were, there's a lot of listings that came on the market this week. And all of those sort of things really are going to impact the pricing that we're going to be seeing properties sell for if and when they do sell. So looking at active inventory, all of Halton Hills is up significantly. We went from 211 listings back up to 219 listings. We do not want to see inventory going this way. Looking at Georgetown, which is the market that's mostly impacted right now, we went from 126 up to 133 active listings. That is a very high number for Georgetown. So there are 133 listings. It's not great right now. Under 800,000 is up from 10 to 13 properties. So like I was talking about, the lower price point stuff just doesn't seem to be moving. So we have 13 properties under 800,000, and that is quite a lot. So you're going to be watching that. Another notable thing, between 800 and $1 million, we are up to 31 active listings. To not see sales in that price point really the last 2 weeks, like, you know, the far majority of sales were not under $1 million. That is concerning. That's usually our very strong pocket. If you have a house under $1 million, you are usually, you know, as a seller, at least in the pocket where properties are moving. But that is like kind of flipped the last few weeks. So I don't know, that just seems crazy to me. So we're gonna be watching if that trend continues, because to not have sales under $1 million is just a very odd thing to be seeing. So 1 to 1.5 million plus is definitely feeling it. They are up to 57 active listings, but they're getting some sales. So although that is some of the highest numbers we've ever seen in the 1 to 1.5 million range, there are still buyers over that $1 million mark. So you might be one of the lucky ones that gets an offer. But there is seriously so many properties available, especially in Georgetown South, between 1 and 1.5 million. And the 1.5 million plus remain the same this week at 32 active listings. That market is less busy. The majority of the properties are selling between 1 and 1.5 million. Over 1.5 is still an anomaly to get a sale. So those 32, we'll probably start to see some of those drop off, or they're just going to be sitting for a really long time. But realistically, a lot of our properties under $1 million right now are at the point that they've been sitting for a long time. So it's really tricky to know where the market's going to go here. Looking at our other markets, Acton remained the same at 32. So sitting very high, lots of variety available in Acton, but you know, not any dramatic ups and downs happening in Acton. Glen Williams and Limehouse both remain the same at 6. 6 is very high for Limehouse, so to have 6 listings there is crazy high. The rural market is up slightly to 42, which is also very high. So the trend you're seeing is that our inventory is very high. We continue to see new properties hitting the market in the middle of July, which is shocking. We do not normally see this many new listings coming to market in the middle of the summer. That is usually it's usually a time where it's very quiet for new listings. So if this continues, like, we're gonna have a very tough back half of the year. Normally we at least have the inventory get bought up throughout the summer because listings slow down, and we go into the fall relatively strong. If we just keep seeing inventory like climb and not softening, which we thought we were seeing, but that is not what happened last week, then we are going to go into the fall in a pretty bad spot. And I do think we'll see prices coming down again through the fall. We do have an interest rate announcement coming up. We didn't really see much happen from the rate drop in June. Even if they drop the rates again, I'm not sure it's going to do much to the market at this point, but we're going to have to see what happens. So I will be back next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.